The meeting order with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry we're running a little bit late here. Welcome to the November 17th Fisherstown Council meeting. We have, let's see, a few announcements. Pete, do you have an announcement for us?
Yes, John. Join us for Pictures with Santa this holiday season and capture the holiday memories. Children of all ages are invited for free pictures with Santa while they share their most precious wishes for the season on Wednesday, December 10th and Thursday, December 11th from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. here at Town Hall. Pictures with Santa is free for the community to attend, and doors will open up at 5:30 so that families can line up in the auditorium.
Thanks, Pete. David, do you have an announcement for us?
Yeah, John. Families are invited to the annual Christmas celebration on Friday, December the 5th, beginning at 6:30 at the Nickel Plate District Amphitheater. Arrive early to catch a special guest appearance by Lauren Lowry with Ashton Wolf, and stick around for a performance by the Fishers High School Choir. Children can enjoy visiting with reindeer, stopping by local business booths, and enjoying hot chocolate and cookies with Santa Claus while he reads The Night Before Christmas. Concessions will be available on a first-come, first-served basis. Again, December 5th at 6:30.
David, thank you. Probably one other announcement. I'd like to congratulate a new father here in Council Chambers. Scott Fadness became a father of a very healthy baby boy. Congratulations, Scott. This time we have a presentation of Fishers Arts Council, the State of the Arts.
Good evening, everyone. It's nice to be with you on a January evening. I think it's January, feels like it. I'm Jocelyn Baer. I'm the current president of the Fishers Arts Council. I have been a resident of Fishers since 1996. I've been president of the Fishers Arts Council for the past 2 years. One of the things I love about being president, representing the Fishers Arts Council, is I get the opportunity to meet with groups and explain to them what Arts Council is all about. I also field requests and inquiries from residents in our community who just want to learn more about the Fishers Arts Council. Last September, I received an email from a resident who was interested in learning more about Fishers Arts Council. And so I met with this resident over a cup of coffee. Actually, it was a married couple. And to move on, okay, there are 2 questions that they asked me that I'm asked all the time when I meet with individuals that are interested in the Arts Council. These are the 2 questions. Jocelyn, what are the opportunities in Fishers for an artist? Or in this case, the folks that I was meeting with over coffee, what are the opportunities for a performer? Or a writer, I've heard. Or just an art lover, or a volunteer, someone interested in what arts is doing in our community. And then the second question, which actually I find way more intriguing, is how can I help move the arts forward in Fishers? I've been asked these questions so many times, so tonight, as part of our State of the Arts presentation, I just want to share with you what I usually communicate when these residents approach me and want to learn more about the Fishers Arts Council. So first, I'll just share with you a little bit about what the organization's all about very quickly. I have a few results to share with you on how Arts Council has benefited the community in this past year, and really what's most important, what is ahead for Fishers Arts Council for the next 3 years through the year 2017. So a little bit about the Fishers Arts Council. We are a membership-based organization. We have a board of directors. We are all volunteer-led. We are a 501c3, and we've been in Fishers very actively at least for 10 years, in my understanding, even we can go even further back than that. But we've been a part of this community for a long time. Here's our mission, very quickly. Arts Council's mission is to support, advocate, and develop arts and cultural opportunities that educate, enhance, and enrich our community. Sounds pretty straightforward. Our mission comes to life, though, in our vision statement. And this is what we envision our community becoming. We envision that art is part of the fabric of our community. It's vibrant, it's diverse, we breathe it in every day. It's part of our community identity. We celebrate innovation, creativity, and collaboration. Really, we know that arts is a very important tool as we look to develop and demonstrate what Fishers is all about, what that sense of place really is. Moving on, a little bit more about our vision. The arts are community assets that we know can engage residents and local businesses, impress visitors, and new talent as well. So this is what moves us forward. This is how we benefit the community. I've heard several times after I meet with someone and explain to them what arts means to our community, they respond, I want to be a part of that. And so I'm happy to say the Arts Council has grown, our volunteer base has grown, and I'll share with you just a little bit of some accomplishments over this past year. One of the first things I'd like to highlight quickly is Art in Town Hall. And yes, it's right outside those doors. Art in Town Hall had 6 different art exhibits in 2014. These exhibits were anywhere from kindergarten students all the way to professionals. All visual artists who had the opportunity to exhibit here in this public space. Art in Town Hall is also about commerce. We have noted over the years that sales of artwork in this space has grown. We estimate about 500 people per exhibit actually come and visit, and many interact with the artists as well. Art in Town Hall we're wrapping up our 3rd year. It's hard to believe. It's an amazing partnership between the Arts Council and the town of Fishers. I especially want to credit Lisa Circonvili. She is with the Fishers Arts Council, who has managed and crafted Art in Town Hall from the very beginning. And also the town of Fishers Parks and Recreation Department, especially Dan Domsick, has really been a part of it. Dan has told me before, I never thought I'd be hanging artwork as part of my job. I think he loves it though, so it's okay. I got some other, one other note I wanted to share here about Art in Town Hall. We have seen, most importantly, this past year, it's been a catalyst for other public art exhibit spaces springing up in the community. Most recently, the Old National Bank, attached to the Starbucks at 116th and 69, has just created their own public art exhibit space. They have consulted with Fishers Arts Council and Lisa to get that program off and running. HSE school teachers have participated in that program as well. So continue, as you get your coffee, please move next door to the bank side. You will be amazed at the artwork there, and also you will be amazed at this amazing piece of real estate that has been graciously donated to the Fishers Arts Council. That's a community announcement board, so it is all about what's happening in the community right now. You can't miss it. So get your latte and move to the other side by the bank. I also want to highlight the June Lee Music Academy. They are located at 126th and Cumberland Road. Recently, they have developed a program called Music and Art. So they have performers and a local artist for an event one evening. I think it's almost every month. So we have seen that spring forward. Also, Launch Fishers, as you know, recently has exhibited art as well. Okay, so if you're counting, that's 4 exhibits of public art in a 2-mile radius, all centered around the Nickel Plate District. Some other accomplishments I want to highlight very quickly, and I shared these. These are our partner organizations that we do a lot with, and we are just so pleased to play a role in their growth in 2014. Nickel Plate Players, okay, so that was the couple I met with for coffee that I mentioned earlier. What was exciting about that was they have been participating as performers. Nickel Plate Players is represented by Ashton Wolf and his wife, Sandy Thorne. And I met with them over coffee. They have performed in Louisville, they have performed in Carmel, and they had no idea what the opportunities were here in Fishers. And we didn't either until we explored them together. And so as you know, Nickel Plate Players put on that musical Beehive over at the amphitheater. Over 1,500 people came to that. And then here's the cool part of the story. They picked up that performance recrafted it and took it to the June Lee Music Academy, their studio, and it was a ticketed event. Now, here's the great part of this growth story, is that they made enough money off of 6 performances indoors this time, and again, a ticketed event, to not only compensate their musicians and performers, but put money in the bank. So you will see and hear a lot more from Nickel Plate players moving forward. Arts Council has been a big part of their growth and helping them really come to life. And I met them for coffee last September. So that's what happened in just a short year, basically. Fisher's Music Works, very quickly, we are a partner of them as well. You know Fisher's Music Works. They have performed at the amphitheater. They have 4 different amazing ensembles, and they perform all year round. What's cool about them is they just received their 501c3. If anyone's been through that process, congratulations to them. That was a huge process, and that's going to open up a lot of new doors for them. We'd like to highlight also Ambassador House. What a remarkable venue, and they are just doing a great job being able to generate revenue from the Ambassador House, a historic property. Sister Cities initiated a arts exchange program with our sister city in the UK, Billericay. And the Renaissance Fair, as you know, is something that's near and dear to our heart here in the Fishers community, and they celebrated their 10-year anniversary. There's a lot more accomplishments. I cannot tell you them all because that would take too long. But please be on the lookout. We're going to do a little handout information sheet of all the things that Arts Council's involved with. There is a lot happening. But let me move forward now to explain to you where we're going for 2015 and beyond. We do a lot of partnerships, and one of the partnerships that we are thrilled to have is with Nickel Plate Arts. And Nickel Plate Arts represents the artist community from Fishers all the way up, actually through the Nickel Plate line, even up to Tipton. And we have been so grateful to receive not only good guidance from them, but a gift this past year of a consultant. And so the Fishers Arts Council worked with a consultant for the first time to craft a strategic plan. We've had a strategic plan in the past, but it was getting kind of dusty. So what I wanted to share with you through the process of many months working with a consultant and receiving a lot of feedback from the community, we created a strategic plan that will carve our path for the next 3 years. So just to highlight a few of, just to highlight a few of these real quick. One of our goals is to grow, of course, strengthening our relationships and resources. As I mentioned, Fishers Arts Council is an all-volunteer group. Our goal within the next 3 years is to move to a staff-led organization. That's a big leap, but we can do it. And we know that the results of that will actually help the arts providers in our community. If Fishers Arts Council is strong, our arts providers and our arts community will strengthen as well, serving the community better. Second goal is to educate. We aspire to be the go-to source for all arts-related information in the community. We know that an accessible, info-rich Arts Council can serve the community better. There's nothing that breaks my heart more when there's an amazing arts event and folks in our community don't even know about it. So our goal is to be that information source for them. We want to connect artists with residents, residents with artists, businesses with everybody. One of the tactics that we have planned in the next 3 years is to craft a community website. We envision this website to be very events-driven, calendar-focused, as well as having an inventory of all the local artists, performers, any creative arts type of individual and organization, a go-to place so you can find that. So when you're looking for a Christmas gift and you want something unique, you can turn to one of our Fishers artists. Goal number 3 is to cultivate. We aspire for the next within the next 3 years to really stand up and be the developer of partnerships and growth opportunities for the arts. Our job is to cultivate and to help nurture the arts providers in our community, to help them do a better job and serve the community better. We would like to facilitate arts opportunities, facilitate arts opportunities. That's pretty straightforward. That's what an Arts Council does. But just to highlight a few of these, provide tools, remove obstacles, share best practices, measure successes and failures, create an environment for partnership. When we crafted that and put that on paper, what struck me was that sounded a lot like Launch Fishers. And when I know that Launch Fishers is the flagship for entrepreneurship in our community, I know Fishers Arts Council is the flagship for artrepreneurs. It's hard to say, but stick with me on that, entrepreneurs. And we feel very strongly about that. As those entrepreneurs grow, that will serve our community better. So consider Fishers Arts Council the Launch Fishers of our community. We do not have tens of thousands of square feet, but we are hoping that we will have a virtual cooperative space online in this new website for our entrepreneurs. Just a quick note about partnerships. I can't think of one thing the Fishers Arts Council has accomplished without a partner being a part of that and working with us. Here, I'm running out of room on this slide. There are more logos I could have added. This is just a few. And I have to tell you, Fishers Arts Council would not be as successful as we are today if it wasn't for each and every one of these partnerships. My last goal, yes, I'm at the end almost, is to be an advocate. The Fishers Arts Council aspires to be the voice of the arts community, the representative to the public. We see ourselves as the ambassador to represent the artist community and connect them with residents. We have already participated in community development and economic development initiatives, and we are glad to have a seat at the table about that. And we can see as the Nickel Plate District and other areas of Fishers start to thrive, that integration of art has become very important. We gather and share results, and we champion the Community Master Art Plan. And hopefully you'll hear a little bit more about that too. But that art plan, as you know, last year when I was here, we talked about the Master Art Plan, and since then it's won a statewide award. So that's our strategic plan for the next 3 years. We are very encouraged about where the organization is going. As Fishers has blossomed over the past several years, I can certainly say the Fishers Arts Council has done the same. And I share with you how many times I am approached by a resident who is very much looking forward to getting involved. Just to sum up, we are looking for the Fishers Arts Council to be strong and sustainable, accessible, full of information to share, nurturing, and this ambassador. And why do we do it? To serve the community better and to also participate not only with the council and the leadership moving forward, but we're looking forward to 2015 as the community becomes a city. That's what I have for you today. Are there any questions?
Any questions?
I just want to comment, Jocelyn, that part of your contribution to the community development is having one of your board members on the Plan Commission. And that is very, very important because it gets art involved in the planning process rather than at the end as an afterthought. And we really appreciate that person's contribution to the Plan Commission and hope that that's something that you guys will continue to support in the future.
That has really provided a lot of benefit. And just to have that conversation, as you said, Mike, early on, has really helped.
And Jocelyn, I want to thank you too. Obviously, all the different things that you guys do. Obviously, volunteer hours, so that's obviously tough. But Art and Town Hall, I've gone to many of those events. It's not just one or two. It's hundreds of people from all different venues, and it's a different type of artist, and you have just neat interaction every time. I know that that's one, and then the mural, which is hopefully the first of many in the Pocket Park, which I know Sue Harrison on the staff level did a great job putting that together. And then you guys have been very involved in all the different things in the amphitheater, from music to plays to concerts and things. And I think that's starting to take shape and come to life, and I think you guys have been a very big help in that. So thank you.
We have a remarkable team full of hardworking people that I think Arts Council is their part-time, non-paid job, I think.
And then, Jocelyn, I want to thank you personally. I mean,
Thanks.
you're always so, the passion that you exude. We talk about Launch Fishers and John Wexler and those kind of guys. It takes that kind of leadership to drive these mechanisms that we have passion with. And quite frankly, I think without you, they'd be a little bit lost. So I want to personally thank you for your effort.
Thank you for that. On that note, my presidency of the Fishers Arts Council wraps up this year, but no worries, no worries. We have a great leadership team ready to take over, so, and you will not see the last of me here, so.
That's good.
My pleasure.
Do you have
Thank
other folks here from the Arts Council that are
Yes,
wishing
may
I could?
Yeah.
They stand up
Yeah,
as
have
well.
everyone
And
stand up. We have our whole team here.
well, thank you all very much for what you do for us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jocelyn. Good to see you as always. Moving on, we do have a couple of proclamations tonight. Our first proclamation is the Hamilton Southeastern Schools Foundation Day. I know you'd mentioned you wanted to come up and say a few words. Would you like to do it now, and then we'll do the proclamation?
Good evening. I'm Freedom Kolb. I am the new executive director of the Hamilton Southeastern Schools Foundation, and I am thrilled to be here tonight and wanted to thank the council for proclaiming the first Tuesday after Thanksgiving as Hamilton Southeastern Foundation Day. It's especially meaningful for us coming from this body. I think council, town manager, Mayor-elect Scott Badness, you have a front row seat to really the issues facing our school district and the importance our school district plays in the community. So it's especially meaningful coming from folks that have a deep knowledge of where we are, where we've been, and where we're going. So I thank you for that. So it seems a little strange, right? The first Tuesday following Thanksgiving, not a specific date. Why not the first day of school or the last day of school or graduation? So this day is known globally as Giving Tuesday. We have a day to give thanks in Thanksgiving. We actually have 3 to find deals: Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and Cyber Monday. And there's a global movement to have one to give back, and that's Giving Tuesday. Locally here in Fishers, we would like to put our stake in the ground and say the cause that unites us all is public education. That is truly the tide that lifts all ships. And as the foundation, we represent all 21 schools and nearly 21,000 students. And this gives us an opportunity to support the work that they're doing to drive innovation and to shore up some of the basic needs funding and those gaps that we see. So on that day, what we're asking everyone to do is an unselfie. Instead of a selfie, we want you to do an unselfie. So we have signs made up. I gave because, and Autumn has placed them outside. We have had incredible support. We have support from town and council, thank you. We have 100% from our schools and our school board. We have support from media. We have support from PTO, some of the scouts here and other scouting troops, and a variety of local businesses are all planning to do unselfies on that Tuesday, December 2nd. So I just wanted to tell you what my unselfie was. I'm with the foundation now, but I'm also a mom of 3, and they're spread out. Not only are they spread out, they're about to be spread out some more, right, with some of the redistricting. And what I'm proud of, my kids are little, right, is specifically that Hoosier Road Elementary protected their love of learning. We moved here, like a lot of people moved to Fishers because of the schools, right? We think it helps drive economic development. We know it protects property values, influences crime rates. But we moved here for the schools. And I was a little nervous. I'm a native Hoosier, and I grew up in Kokomo, rural Kokomo, very small school. And I was worried that my kids would become a number, and they didn't. Not only did they protect their love of learning, but they really fostered their natural curiosity. And I can't imagine their experience without Hoosier Road Elementary. So when I do my unselfie, that's what I'm going to talk about. Not necessarily my role with the foundation, but my heart as a mom. And I think it gives us a chance to thank the people that don't ever get thanked, right? That bus driver who says, "I like your shoes," to the shy second grader getting on. That coach, at the end of the day, the custodians, the lunch ladies, all the folks that really make this district and this community excellent. So I am thrilled that you all are on board, and I thank you really so much. Bev?
Thank you to the council. My name is Beverly Smith, and I am the Director of School and Community Relations for Hamilton Southeastern. And I am 4 weeks onto my job and very happy to be with you this evening. And one of the first folks that I encountered in Fishers happens to be Freedom and the foundation, and she gave me the skinny on what we'll be doing with Giving Tuesday. I can relate simply because Giving Tuesday, public education is me. I did not necessarily grow up in Kokomo in the rural area, but my story is more of an urban nature. I grew up in Gary, Indiana, and education was my way out. Education was my freedom. And I certainly endorse Giving Tuesday, believe wholeheartedly in what the foundation is doing, and certainly recapturing what the spirit of the holidays happens to be. And there's no greater cause than to give to a child. So we thank you on behalf of the school corporation that you are proclaiming and standing with us in partnership, and we know that it will go quite far. So #unselfie.
Thank you, ladies. Certainly, as a former board member of the foundation, past secretary, past treasurer, it's certainly great to see you. So I will go ahead and read the proclamation. Whereas the town of Fishers recognizes the importance of excellent education institutions available to the children in our community, and whereas public schools are the linchpin bringing together adults and children, educators and volunteers, business leaders and elected officials in a common enterprise, and whereas by equipping youth with practical skills and intellectual abilities, schools give them hope for and access to a productive future for themselves and for our community. And whereas education employees, be they substitute educators, custodians, teachers, bus drivers, librarians, food service, or administrators, work tirelessly to serve our children and communities. And whereas the Hamilton Southeastern Schools Foundation support all of the above by enhancing educational opportunities, inspiring excellence, and engaging the community to foster a legacy of achievement, therefore we, the Fishers Town Council, do hereby proclaim the first Tuesday following Thanksgiving as Hamilton Southeastern Schools Foundation's Day. Congratulations, and great to have you with us. Thank you. This is obviously proclamation night. We have another proclamations for the Boy Scout Troop 109 Day. They get today, I think. So do we have a representative from the Boy Scout Troop to come up here very quickly, and we'll
Mr. Weingart, my name is John Rombach. I'm the Scoutmaster for Troop 109. We're the oldest troop in Fishers, established back in 1944. I've got other members from PAC 108 here as well. And so we've got some of our boys here that they're working on their citizenship in the community merit badge. So one of their requirements is to come to a government meeting and to maybe interview some government officials. So maybe they'll talk to you guys later tonight. But some of these guys are also here to support the troop. Since we're here for the proclamation, we greatly appreciate being recognized and recognizing all of Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts throughout the nation. So thanks. And I'm sure some of the boys, I'd rather have them speak about what they would rather do and what they're up to right now.
Great. That'd be outstanding. Thank you.
Yep.
Gentlemen, if you want to come up and introduce yourself and tell us where you're going to school and what badge you're working on, we'd really appreciate it.
I'm Race Ewing. I go to Fishers High School, and I'm working on citizenship in the community.
Hello, I'm Nick Bale. I go to HSE High School, and I'm working on the citizenship in the community.
My name is Evan Shlema. I go to Hamilton Southeastern High School, and I'm working on the citizenship and community merit badge.
Hi, I'm Jack Jusko, and I also go to Hamilton Southeastern, but I am also currently working on the Sitnick Community Merit Badge, as well as getting my Eagle Project approved.
I'm Isaac Golden. I go to HSC Junior High, and I'm currently working on citizenship in the community.
My name is Jackson Olson. I go to Sand Creek Intermediate, and I'm just here to support my troop.
I'm Evan Jones, and I go to HSC, and I'm working on the Sit in the Community Merit Badge.
I'm Kyle Rombach. I go to HSC, and I'm working on citizenship in the nation merit badge.
I'm Max Van Alsdahl. I go to Riverside, and I'm working on my citizenship in the community.
I'm Jonathan Frisbee, and I go to Riverside Junior High, and I'm working on citizenship in the community merit badge.
I am Eddie Leverage. I go to Heritage Christian School, and I'm currently working on Citizenship of the Community merit badge.
I'm Michael Benalzo. I go to Riverside. I'm thinking about joining PAC 109.
Thank you.
Caleb Mortimer, and I go to GMA Montessori, Geis Montessori, and I'm thinking about joining PAC 109.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, so this is just a collection of some of our 75 boys in our troop, and then some of the boys from a Cub Scout Pack 108 that are also chartered out of Fishers United Methodist Church, and they're looking to join us here when they cross over into Boy Scouts in February.
Great.
So hopefully we'll have 100 boys here by the end of the year.
Yes, Mike.
Yeah, I just wanted to give some feedback to the Boy Scouts. I sit on the Naval Academy Selection Committee for Congresswoman Brooks, and one of the things I look for is participation in scouting. That's very, very important to me. When I look at applications, that kind of puts you a cut above some folks. So you're doing yourself a favor for the future.
Mike, would you be willing to read the proclamation?
Sure. Whereas the town of Fishers recognizes the importance of extracurricular activities for children in our community, and whereas the Boy Scouts of America teaches young people in our community lessons of patriotism, leadership, and community engagement, and whereas by guiding our youth with applicable life skills, we enable them to become successful leaders in our community in the future, and whereas the Boy Scout Troop 109 represents one Boy Scout troop seeking to learn more and make a difference in our community, and whereas the Boy Scout Troop 109 is here tonight as they work towards achieving the Citizenship Community Eagle Merit Badge, therefore we, the Fishers Town Council, do hereby proclaim Monday, November the 17th, as Boy Scout Troop 109 Day in the town of Fishers, for all citizens are encouraged to celebrate.
Gentlemen, stick around at the end. We want to get a picture with you as well. So we'll make you stay for the whole meeting now. Okay? Yeah. Our last proclamation is Entrepreneur Week. We don't have anybody else.
John, I think just having one of our council members read that.
Eric, would you read that for us, please?
Whereas the town of Fishers believes in creating an environment that's favorable for entrepreneurial endeavors and that cultivates innovation in our community, and whereas those core values help build strong collaborative relationships with local businesses and entrepreneurs, and whereas Launch Fishers demonstrates the importance of having a physical location to grow ideas and plant seeds for a long-term success right here in town, and whereas entrepreneurship in our community leads to true economic success as businesses start and grow right here in Fishers. And whereas FailFest 2014 embraces the role of setbacks and failures as they lead to innovation, evolution, and successful businesses. Therefore, we, the Town Council, Fishers Town Council, do hereby proclaim the week of November 17th to the 21st, Entrepreneur Week, and the town of Fishers and all citizens are encouraged to celebrate it.
Thank you, Eric. Moving on, do we have a motion to approve a consent agenda?
John, I'd ask that we pull item 5B from the consent agenda.
Okay. It's a motion to approve the consent agenda with the removal of item 5B.
Is that being pulled for later
pulled or
discussion or pulled altogether?
It's being tabled for the meeting. We've got some further work to do on the memorandum of understanding, so pull it from the agenda for tonight.
Okay.
You need a motion for that?
I do.
I move to pull item B in the consent agenda.
Motion by Mike, second by Pete. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda consisting of items A, C, D, E, and F.
Motion by Mike, second by Pete. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you very much. Moving on towards, and actually we are pulling item 9, if I'm not mistaken, from the agenda as well.
That's correct.
R111714A. Okay, moving on. Item 6, Ordinance 091514A, request to approve and transition ordinance updating Fishers ordinance consistent with state statutes governing second-class cities.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Stewart, second by Pete. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Moving on. Item 7, ordinance 11714, request to approve amendment to the 2014 salary ordinance, first, second, and third reading. Good evening,
Need a
Cece.
motion now to suspend rules?
Need
You
a
wanna
motion to
wait?
suspend the rules?
I make a motion to suspend rules and approve on first reading.
Motion by Mike, second by Pete. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Key there was a couple of roles that we have that are going to be filled this year, and we need to modify the salary ordinance in order to put the new employees into the appropriate salary classification.
That's correct.
Thank you, Cece. Great memo. Thank you.
That's fine.
Go right ahead. Anything else? Any questions for CC?
Motion approved.
I have a motion by Pete, second by Mike. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you, CC. You're so distinct. Moving on to item 10, request to approve Indiana Department of Revenue local public agency contract.
Item 8, I believe we still have,
Oh,
John.
excuse me, I apologize. Item 8, request to approve resolution dedicating right-of-way along 104th Street west of Cynthia Ann.
Good evening, Jeff Hill with the Engineering Department. 2 weeks ago, I was before you requesting approval of 3 right-of-way dedications, which we worked with the fire department and developers on to secure right-of-way so that a project that Duke Energy is contemplating can get power poles set back from the roadway so that if we do decide to widen or improve the roadways, those power poles are set back away from the road and don't require relocation at a later date. There's one other piece of right-of-way that we did not bring you 2 weeks ago. It's located along the south side of 104th Street, just west of Cynthia Ann Road. And should you approve the resolution tonight, it would secure that right-of-way so that, again, a few more of those poles could be set back at the back of the right-of-way. This is adjacent to the Steeplechase development, and we appreciate working with their folks on this issue. If there are any questions, I'd be glad to answer those questions. Otherwise, I'd request approval of the resolution.
Motion to approve R111714.
Second.
Motion by Pete, second by Stewart. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you. Now moving on to item 10, request to approve Indiana Department of Revenue local public agency contract for bike pedestrian facilities for the Nickel Plate Trail extension.
Yes, thank you. This is a standard boilerplate agreement between Fishers and INDOT regarding a project we secured federal funds for the installation of additional trail. The Nickel Plate Trail in particular, which this exhibit shows current trail along the municipal complex in this area here. This agreement would be the extension of this trail to the north from the municipal complex toward Conner Prairie. At this time, there's no dollars being exchanged as part of signing this agreement, but it does stipulate that once we bid the contract, Fishers would pay the 20% match. Currently anticipated about $200,000, and the federal portion, which INDOT would supply, would be $878,550. My recollection is, and I don't have it here right in front of me, it's about a $1,050,000 project for that 2.5 miles of trail from the municipal complex here downtown to the Conner Prairie area, and would respectfully request approval of the agreement and authorize the town manager to execute it on behalf of the town council. If there are any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion by Pete, second by Mike. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Item 11, request to approve installation of traffic signal at 131st Street and Parkside Drive. Jeff, you're earning your money tonight.
I'm trying. The item before you this evening is an approval to install a signal at Fishers Marketplace. We've been watching traffic as the developments have been continuing to occur out at Fishers Marketplace, and 131st and Parkside we found meets one of the primary signal warrants. In an effort to speed the installation of a traffic signal along, we've done an inventory of existing equipment we've got out at Public Works Garage and solicited quotes from 4 traffic signal contractors to perform an installation of this signal in short order so that it would be in there essentially as we get into this holiday shopping season, as people are visiting Walmart and some of the other restaurants. We have seen a couple of crashes, and we know the signal will help eliminate those, especially as additional businesses are coming online and apartments are set to open early next year. Of the 4 quotes, the lowest responsive contractor was TC Electric in the amount of $71,275, slightly above our engineer's estimate of $70,472.35. However, we feel that resoliciting quotes won't find us a different answer, and it fits within our budget of $75,000. This would be funded out of road impact fees. The installation is set to begin possibly as early as this week, given hopefully some better weather conditions. But we have stipulated that once the work begins, the contractor has 20 days to finish the work. So it'll be done in a quick time frame. We'd request approval of the quotes of the low quote with TC Electric. And I would note that we'll come back to you probably at your first meeting in December to modify the ordinance to allow the traffic signal control as part of the update of the ordinance at that time. If there's questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Any questions for Jeff?
Yeah, a question for either Jeff or Scott, and then some of this is probably moot just because of the time that's gone by. When this first went in, when it first went in, there were certain things that were done on a traffic study, and most of that I think has been implemented. And then I think the signal was going to come in later, but I think at that time, this was probably 3 developers ago. So did they pay money into the road impact fee of which this is being pulled out, or is this just a situation where we're so far beyond the original intended person?
To my knowledge, we're so far beyond that that at this point the good news is that we actually had the majority of the parts for this stoplight in storage from where we've converted intersections to roundabouts. Right. And so the vast majority of this payment, if you will, is just the assemblage of old stoplight parts that we had. But yeah, in terms of recouping anything from the specific developers, that's gone away some time ago.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Motion approved. Second.
Motion by Pete, second by Stewart. All's in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 12, request to approve Riverside Sports Park exemption request. Good evening, Dale.
Good evening. For the record, my name is Dale Davis. I'm a planner with the Department of Community Development. We started talking about this item last month, and it's an exemption request for Parks Department ILP, Improvement Location Permit, at Riverside Sports Park. They wish to rehab some ball fields, construct a new ball field, and construct a restroom facility to go along with these. The exemption requests came about because of some construction issues, primarily due to fire access. The building will have to be built entirely out of non-combustible materials, which means a concrete, solid structure. At that time, we were given some direction from the council to have some discussions with the fire department, and we've had the fire department and the fire marshal put together a letter for you guys that was included with your packet. None of the requests have changed. Since then, we've refined the architecture a little bit more. Tony has some examples with him if you would like to see those as well. And if you'd like me to run through the individual requests again, I can. But outside of that, the request has not changed. So any questions for me?
Yeah, I was the one who brought up the issue at the last council meeting about having the fire department have more what I consider to be an active role in this. I think that's happened. I met with Chief Arusa. He and I discussed this, and I have no problem with supporting this.
The only question I had was, and I think that you've met the need for the variance, if you will, the waiver. Exterior materials, roof, and windows. I think that every time it's a unique case, this is why this is happening in this unique situation. The only other one, just for the group, is landscaping. It seems like that's a little bit more voluntary, or are there other reasons? Just help me understand why it's this instance, and then it wouldn't come back on other instances.
Exactly. This project is sitting in the middle of the nature preserve, where we're surrounded by wooded area, and we're trying to disturb as little as possible. So to install site trees, they would actually have to disturb a little more area than they already are, which in this area would be a little bit kind of counterproductive.
Okay, that's good. I just kind of wanted that in the record. So every time we do one of these, it's a very specific instance, and in others wouldn't be that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dale.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by David, second by Pete. All's in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, Dale.
Thank you.
Any other unfinished or new business?
John, I have a bit of new business. I think you've all been handed out a document that says Exhibit C, form of disbursement request to custodian.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We have a bond closing that'll happen shortly for the Jaeger project over here on the KFC site. And we were requesting to get approval from the council tonight, contingent upon the bond closing, to allow for the disbursement of these funds once the bonds close, so that we don't have to wait until the next council meeting to have this approved.
Okay.
So just to be clear, Scott, you're basically getting permission ahead of time, so we're going to have to wait the 2 weeks, or we're just going to
Correct.
close on this.
If the bond doesn't
momentarily.
close, there's
So
no
we don't have
funds.
to have a special meeting again to approve this?
Right.
Very good. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Pete, second by David. All's in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
John, I've got
I think
one other
just
thing
as
too, real quick.
As a form, that motion also included a unanimous addition of this item to the agenda. I thought I heard that.
You did.
Yes.
Absolutely did. David?
Yeah, real quick, I know, Scott, you and I talked about this before, but this is something, I think it was in the Current or one of the press, but at Brooks School and Fall Creek, and then 96th Street and Fall Creek, there are two roundabout enhancements going in. And just to kind of go way back, there was an impoundment fund that was set up as a portion of the annexation, and that fund was set up so that everybody in the Geist area for that particular annexation could utilize it for specific purposes. And they wanted to do it on their own because there needed to be a separation between, at that time, the municipality and the people in that area. So they had full use of the funds to be able to utilize for different enhancements. And these are two items that I believe are being used through that. So it's not taxpayer dollars, other than I think we helped out maybe with the base, but the artwork and things, that is something that is done through that fund.
It is technically taxpayer dollars, but it's taxpayer dollars that were committed to this fund during the annexation, and it was a committee of residents in that area that came to the conclusion that this is what they wanted to spend the money on. And so,
But I think, just to David's point, but it's, I would rephrase it slightly different, David, in that committee was appointed, and then they make recommendations to the council, and the council actually spends the money and takes under advisement the recommendations of that board. It's not their money per se to spend as they so choose, but it's their money to give us advice. We said we're going to dedicate this money to this area, and we formed the committee to give us advice, and then we act.
well, I think the important.
Am I misremembering?
I count a little bit there where they can come. I mean, let's face it, we're not going to say no if it's something that's normal. If they're going to go out and buy beer with it.
Well,
or something,
I think
no.
the important distinction here, and I think the point that David is driving home, is that money is earmarked specifically for capital infrastructure improvements in a geographic area in our community. And so we're not taking money that otherwise could have been spent on police and firemen and things of that nature. This was money that was restricted, highly restricted, frankly, for what it could be used for. And that committee does recommend those things to the council, but your scope of what you can spend it on is very limited per the pre-annexation agreement. So this, along with, they did a study for the Geist Reservoir to see what the water quality issues are there. And they are looking at some pretty transformative trail projects along the Fall Creek corridor as well. So they've certainly been working hard over the last couple of years, and hopefully we have some good infrastructure improvements for it.
And just another nuance here is the fact that it was part of the fiscal plan being put in for the annexation, so it was statutory. Once you guys went in there, accepted the fiscal plan for the annexation that included the impoundment fund, it became a statutory requirement part of that annexation. My memory serves me right, it's got from the annexation.
I resent the "you guys" implication in that, Pete. You guys are we now, right? So.
Welcome to the community, Pete.
Yeah. Any other unfinished or new business? Or any old business we need to rekindle? Motion by Pete, second by Eric. All those
Just
in
want to
favor?
say, the Boy Scouts, if there's anyone that wants to come up and pick our brains, we're here.
And I think the first order of business would be a picture with Mayor-elect and Town Council President, if you so choose.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. We're adjourned. Have a great week.